Hi, this week is the Canadian Mental Week, and everyone in Canada is invited to reflect about mental health. You probably know part of my story. Maybe some have heard it so often that they will say, oh no, not again. I suffer from chronic anxiety. I'm doing well. I have my medication, doing well. If I stop taking my medication, that's not good, just to say the least. And also I suffer from depression many years ago when my father was dying. And there's no surprise that each time someone close to me is suffering from cancer, it brings back very strong emotions since I lost both my father and mother to it. And it's linked to depression. I'm saying that because there's still many taboos around mental health, and more specifically mental diseases and mental illnesses. And in 2015, we still wonder why. I also have diabetes. And usually people said, oh, me too, I have diabetes and I have sleep apnea. And many people of the congregation came to me and said, oh, we're CPAP buddies now. And we share experience. But when it comes to mental illness, there's this unease. Many don't know how to do, how to react, what to say. And we're a church. We're a church, and one of the first duty, I'm not saying the primary duty, but one of the very important duty for a church is to care for one another. And when people feel that have this disease, this illness, this burden they want to share, and when they're not comfortable to share that with the faith community, it raises question. I'm sharing part of my story not because I want to attract pity, not I want to show I'm better. I believe that leaders must lead by example. If I can share my story, maybe some people will say, oh, I'm not alone. Maybe some people say, oh, if he shares his story, maybe I can share my story. And the more we share stories, the more normal, I would say, the story will become like other diseases, other illnesses. And there's nothing wrong or shameful for mental disease, mental illnesses. Most of them are genetic. When I come to anxiety, my brother has it, my father had it, probably my grandfather. I never knew my grandfather, but and my nephew has it. So like the diabetes, genetics play a big part, but somehow we tend to believe that everything that comes with the mind, everything that comes to the brain, if you have a problem, well, that means you're weak, you're not good enough, you should be ashamed, you're broken, something like that. And once again, we are church. And when we say, come as you are, we accept you, it needs to include that, especially that. People who are suffering, people who not know where to turn. We will not heal people suffering from those diseases, but at least we can listen to them. And also care for the loved one, the family, the friends, who are not heroes necessarily. Parents who have a son who's suffering from schizophrenia, they're not heroes. They're, I'm not sure if the term is correct, but closer to survivor. They did not choose this. It came to them like a burden that will never go away. And they need also to be comforted. They don't need this kind of cheap pity, I would say, oh, poor you. That must be difficult. Oh, that kind of tone, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes we just want to talk and nothing else. And sometimes we just want people to interact with us exactly the same way before and after that I'm telling that I have a disease. I want care sometimes. Sometimes I'm not feeling like to talk about it like every other disease, like everybody else. But at least I want, and like many people, we want to make sure that we're comfortable to use that kind of language, that kind of stories in our churches. And I hope this week will keep helping us to break those taboos, to break those prejudice that some are feeling, that open ourselves, open our minds, either giving us the strength and the courage to talk about it because it's still difficult, or to be open to listen to it. So I hope you will take care of yourself, and that's also important. Then mental health is also taking care of self, and we will create, all of us, this kind of sacred space when we can share our stories without shame, without fear, be accepted for who we truly are. Take care, and talk to you very soon.